Hello everyone, my name is Slimper and today we'll be diving in Scoundrel and Spellweaver combo. So this is a two-player combo which is quite cannon glass. Spellweaver focuses on AoE damage, Scoundrel on single target, high damage. And we'll be starting with the equipment that I've chosen for them. So the strongest item you can get for two-player, probably for every single two-player combo, is Cloak of Invisibility, which allows you to negate any damage you receive for 2 turns, or you can manipulate the battlefield to become an obstacle which enemies cannot go through, and you can block entrances and do some other stuff. The other item I chose is Minor Stamina Potion, the nerfed version, which only recovers 1 of your discarded cards. So using your best card twice in a row is really good. That's why I prefer it. Next, we'll be getting the cards, and Spellweaver uses 8 cards, which can be seen in the top right corner. So the cards we'll be using, ordered by initiative, is Mana Bolt. This is a really good quick movement card, allows you to move before enemies, and usually you'll be using this as a move action. Frost Armor. This is also a quick card which you'll be using as a move. The top or the bottom aren't that strong, but you can use the bottom to get some XP. Next is Flame Strike. Flame Strike is really good at doing additional damage thanks to the bottom attack, which you usually do not see on most cards. And the top is quite short on range, so it's hard to use, it's not that strong. Fire Orbs, probably my favorite AoE damage card, especially for level 1. You can choose 3 targets, you get XP for each of them, and you deal a lot of damage, you get fire. Really, it's super fun to use it and see how much damage you can do. Next is Impelling Eruption. I love this card. This is very similar to Fire Orbs. You get to target all enemies on the path to the primary target, so you can zigzag it, and you also get XP for each enemy targeted, so you can use it in melee range and deal damage to 4 enemies. You can also enhance it for 30 gold, and that adds another 3 damage on average to this card. Really like it. And the bottoms of these cards are movement, so you can use it outside of the top action as well. Reviving Ether, one of the best cards in this game, allows you to restore all other lost cards except for this one. This one cannot be ever restored, even by other card restoring actions. And the bottom has a move 4 jump, so you can use it to get over traps, obstacles, and enemies. Really, the strength of this card is in changing your play style to using less lost cards to survive even longer. But it really depends on your playstyle. Play however you like. And the last one is Aid from the Ether. Gives you a heal 3 at the top, and a summon which gives you 2 XP at the bottom. Usually you don't really want to heal in Gloomhaven, but sometimes it's useful. You don't want to heal because usually you don't have the time to heal. The bottom is an ally summon. It can prevent quite a bit of damage if used correctly. You can use it as a shield. Enemies will prioritize killing the summon first, so you can block quite a bit of damage. Next, we've got Crackling Air. It's really hard to use. You only need to use the wind once, and it adds 2 attacks to plus 2 attack to 4 attacks. It's really not that great. You don't want to use the bottom either, because you don't want to be attacked to retaliate. And the top is also a retaliate action for hardened spikes. The 2 XP looks nice, but I wouldn't recommend, as the bottom is also quite hard to use. You don't have ice generation at level 1, except for the frost armor, but the frost armor reduces all received damage, so you will not be able to use the shield. So these cards we will not be using, and we have a choice between Ride the Wind, which is overall a better card, and Freezing Nova, which is a worse card, which you don't really wanna use normally, but we'll be trying it just for the sake of it. So if you wanna use it, because you'll probably be dropping this card at the next level up anyway. Ride the Wind is also kind of good because you get to loot, and loot allows you to buy items, so you can use it in a normal game. But since I'm gonna be playing this playthrough for over-explaining, I'll try and make use of this card and see how it works. As for the Scoundrel, she has 9 cards at most, and the best cards she can use is Flanking Strike. This is an attack 5, gain 1 XP, if the target you're attacking adjacent to an ally, which is also true for summons. So if you have an ally summon, you can do more damage with this. As for the bottom, move 5, really great, really fast, really not a normal action you'd see. So Scoundrel is quick and can attack for a lot of damage if an ally is close. We're both kind of low in HP. Level 1 Spellweaver only has 6, level 1 Scoundrel 8, so it's not a lot. So we have to play smart and deal a lot of damage so that enemies do not attack us. Backstab is a very similar card to Flanking Strike. It repeats at the top and adds +2 attack if an enemy isn't adjacent to their allies. So this is a really good anti-boss card. I use it on the bosses, on the strong elite enemies when you are in trouble. Bottom is move 6. The initiative is also crazy, so you can move very far quickly and attack. Then we have Thieves' Knack, which is a disarm trap action at the top, which you can use to get some more experience if the action has slowed down. And the bottom is really good, attack 3, gain 1 XP. This will allow you to kill enemies quickly. Special Mixture is really good thanks to the bottom of poison, and at the top we have a heal 3 self, the only heal we have except for the long rest. So this can be used mostly for the poison at the bottom to get 1 more damage, and once you're out of battle you can heal. Sweet Bow, a very interesting card which allows you to loot basically everything once you have the boots that give you more movement speed. And swift bow is an attack 3, range 4, allows you to attack very far. This is a really good door opener action. Overall, really good card. Venom Chef is an attack 3 with poison. It also gives you XP, so it's fine to use. It's a move 5. It's kind of similar to other attacks that you have, but it's not as powerful. So it's not gonna be in your deck for long. You'd rather have stronger cards. Single out repeats our flanking strike at the top, so you'll be using the top action of this card a lot, and the bottom is really hard to use and I don't recommend it. The initiative is really slow, so you can use this card for different things like going slow or attacking. Now we need to decide on 2 more cards, and what I like to use is Smoke Bomb. For 2-player it's okay to use. Invisibility gives you 2 more turns where you will not be attacked, and the pull action allows you to pull enemies into traps or towards you, so you can do single out or flanking strike damage. Next card that we want to use is either Throwing Knives or Quick Hands. Quick Hands is really good at doing the loot, and you can also use it with Thieves' Knack to get more damage done. The other option is going for Throwing Knives. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it does deal damage to 2 targets, so this is a good finisher. And the bottom is loot 2, so you can use this to get a lot of money. Well, that's what Scoundrel is about. The other 2 cards are Trickster's Reversal. The top is interesting that you can use this to ignore the shield and do quite a bit of damage if the enemy has a lot of shields, but we don't have those kind of enemies in this scenario. And the bottom is quite weak. For 1 time you can ignore the damage that you've been suffering or suffered, and it's not that great because usually there are 4 enemies, all of them attack you. It's quite niche, it's hard to use, so we'll not be taking this. And Sinister Opportunity has a decent top, which is an attack 4, and the bottom is super weak because it forces 1 adjacent enemy to perform a move which has to end in a hex adjacent to you. So you cannot use it to push enemies into traps. Not really, it's really hard to use, it's super situational, and the top is not as much damage as some other cards. So we'll be probably taking Quick Hands because it's more flexible, and we'll put these 2, 3 elsewhere. Alright, so this is it for the cards, the items. We'll be playing as the Side with Tena and Aurel, which are named after the characters of the King Killer Chronicle. The scenario level is going to be hard. I also use the option for solo upon formation. The difficulty increases, but not the gold or XP. Alright, we are mercenaries. We've been offered 10 golds 10 gold coins, I mean, to track down a thief and get some stolen goods back, some documents. The job is from the red-skinned demoness. We are going to the Black Barrow, and the city rule is militaristic. We've spent our 30 starting gold for 2 items. And we can start. So can put the city rule militaristic here. The Black Barrow is over here. And let's start. So first things first, the road event, well, guess I need to take this and put it over here. Also prepare the starting city events, shuffle. All right, let's do the road event. You are walking down the road when the sound of many wings pulls your gaze to the sky. Above you, you see a large flock of red birds flying southward. At that height, you figure a well-aimed arrow could bring one of them down to make a nice meal. Well, we have a scoundrel, so let's shoot. You pull back your bow and take aim. The instant you lose the arrow, however, you notice something odd about the birds. They are much farther away than you realized and much bigger. The arrow misses, but it gets their attention. As the flock turns and descends towards you, you realize you just shot at a group of drakes. You run for cover among the trees, but are hit by their acidic spit a number of times in the process. So, level 1, we're already fighting the drakes. We all start scenario with muddle and 2 damage. And we're putting at the bottom. Okay. Sometimes it's best to ignore the birds. So we can start this scenario in 2 different ways. We can place ourselves on the edge of the starting position and quickly do an attack and move away. I guess the same goes for the scoundrel. Or we can wait over here, do a really slow turn, and then once they move towards us or do whatever, and once they move towards us, we can actually attack them twice in a row. So at the end of the round and at the start of next round. So we'll be choosing the second type of strategy. And that means we'll be doing a slow movement first. So I'll be using Impaling Eruption. So that is probably slow enough. And I'll be using probably Fire Orbs to move, because if something happens, I want to move as far away as possible or as close as possible. Well, if they don't move, I move here. I actually don't need to do that then. Well, we'll see. This is gonna allow me to either move 3 over here, or I mean somewhere. Well, don't really have a move 4. Okay, the other option is to move 4. Well, move 4 is gonna be okay. So we'll be using the earth attack. And for the scoundrel, we wanna move as close as possible, but we wanna go after Spellweaver. So we'll be using single out, bottom, and special mixture. I mean single out top and special mixture bottom for the poison, because This elite bandit has 10 HP, and we really want to ignore the shield one. So yeah, let's do that. Shuffle our attack modifier decks and start. Alright, looks like we got unlucky. This bandit guard moves 3. Attacks the Spellweaver because she is quicker. Attacks at 1 damage, so even though we got unlucky, still not as much as it could have been. Then this bandit guard, this one, because it's quicker, goes here, attacks the Scoundrel, attacks her for 3 damage. I'll take it. And this one goes here, attacks our Spellweaver. That is 3 damage. So looks like we'll be dead if we don't burn a card. So let us burn eight from the Ether. This is not the best card Spellweaver has, so it should be fine. Don't really need healing, and I just use this one as a Mystic Ally. For example, if you use it and they attack the Mystic Allies, basically the same as you losing this card, just don't get the experience. As for the Spellweaver, we can do Impaling Eruption, and we will be getting 3 XP for 3 enemies. And since we're muddled, we don't even care to move out of the disadvantage, because we're already disadvantaged. And we'll start with this, then this, and this. So that was attack 3. Minus 1 is 2. Attack 3 plus 0 minus 1 shield is 2. And attack 3 plus 0 is 3. Alright. And this goes into Lost. And we can jump 4. We'll be jumping over here, because we will move quickly, get the Scoundrel as much adjacency as possible, and move out. The Scoundrel can now use Special Mixture to apply poison on the elite enemy, and then single out for attack 5 on the elite enemy as well. So we did 5 damage minus 2. That leaves us at 5. I ignore the shield because the enemy is poisoned. And we will remove the muddle at the end. We will also create Earth, and at the end of the round it goes into waning. The Earth is created by Impaling Eruption. Okay, the next card we want to use is probably Mana Bolt and Flame Strike. This way we can attack another enemy or move out if it's too dangerous. As for the Mind Thief, I mean the Scoundrel, sorry, we will be using Flanking Strike and Thieves' Knack for as much damage as possible. So the Scoundrel goes first. The guards will move and attack. I'm using Flanking Strike top, that is 5 damage. On this Bandit Guard Elite. And with poison, we kill him. We can also use the Snag Bottom for 3 damage. And we kill him. As for the Orchid Spellweaver, we'll be using the bottom of Flame Strike first, I think. The other option is to step on a coin and pray for a +1 attack. That is not the best option, because we're really low on HP. So let's do the Mana Ball top attack first, because we want to consume this earth. Get that XP. So that's gonna be attack 3. At disadvantage, sadly. So that's a miss. So I guess we will move out since we missed. Oh, I also forgot to take the battle goals. Let's just quickly take them. Sorry. Streamliner is about having 5 or more total cards in your hand and discard piles. That is probably not going to happen. And Fast Healer is to be at the maximum health at the end of scenario, which is probably possible. And the Zealot is about having 3 or fewer total cards in my hand. And Sedit is about killing 5 or more monsters during the scenario. So I'll be taking Zealot just because it's much easier to complete. Alright, and the guard will move here. Attack the Scoundrel because she has 4 initiative. So that's an attack 3 + 1. We have to burn a card to negate that damage. We'll be burning probably Quick Hands because I don't really need it. And that's it. We can now use the Freezing Nova. With Frost Armor. So that's gonna allow us to attack and move out of the way. And as for the Scoundrel, we wanna go as quickly as we can and deal as much damage as possible. So the Scoundrel does 3. That's 1 XP. It's enough to kill him. And we will move 6. Just 1 to get the coins. And the Spellweaver didn't get to use the Freezing Nova. Sad. Okay, move 2. Top. So long rest it is. for both our characters because I want a heal and I want to heal again. So the Spellweaver gets 2 HP back, and we can choose which card to lose for these. I'm guessing Flame Strike isn't as good at the moment, so I'll drop it. Fire Orbs go back. Now Scoundrel heals too. And outfall these. The least strong card is Venom's Shift, so we'll burn that. For the next turn we want to heal ourselves. 3. Then move 6 inside. Probably, or not. Actually, we can move over here, prepare for the door opener action. Okay. As for the Spellweaver, she doesn't really need to heal. And she can use Freezing Nova into Cloak of Invisibility for as much damage as she can possibly deal in this situation. So if Spellweaver moves at this speed, then we want to move afterwards for sure. But we don't really want to heal then. We want to go as slow as possible, which is this single out speed. And then move 6 to get on top of the enemies. Alright, let's try this. So move. Oh, I'm sorry. I really meant to put this one. But yeah, it should be fine. So Freezing Nova is gonna be used. Move 4. Opening this door. And we'll be landing over here. That will allow us to attack 2 enemies at once and immobilize them. So that sounds really good. But before that, let's draw a card for the Bandit Guard and a card for the Bandit Archer, which is Elite. So now we do 2 damage to all adjacent enemies. We immobilize them. And we'll be starting with this one because it's going faster. It's 2. That's 3. And now the guards will use the shield, which means I'm safe from their damage. And the bandit archer will attack at 4 damage. So that is quite scary. I could burn a card. I could to negate it. So I guess I will be burning a card. Because I don't want to burn my cloak. This cloak is gonna be really useful next room. Because in the next room there are 2 archers and yeah, you get the idea. Alright. And since the bandit guards don't move, but get shield and retaliate, we skip them And the archer attacks at Spellweaver. Thankfully, just at 3 damage. So we'll be taking it instead of burning card, so we can heal it back later. As for the human scoundrel, move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can choose either one. I'll be choosing this one, of course. And we can do 5 damage. So we'll be doing that. And the Bandit Guard has 1 shield, and if he survives, he will retaliate. Nice. So we did 5 plus 1, that's 6. 6 is more than 4, and he cannot retaliate because he is dead. Nice. So for the next turn, we really want to shut down the archer, because archers deal a lot of damage, especially the elite ones. So what are some options here? We could move 5 and attack 3. That is not going to kill her. We could use frost armor to reduce the damage twice to 0. That is also a fine option. Not as good as some other options, but it's not the worst for sure. And then we'll be getting our cards back. The problem with that is I didn't get to use fire orbs, and I really want to. If I go here, I can use the fire orbs, probably kill the bandit guard, hopefully kill the bandit guard, and yeah, we'll be doing that. XP is really more important here. Looks like I forgot to put these 2 back after the long rest, but still, I wouldn't want to use them just yet. And what we can do next turn is we can move in here and kill this bandit guard. That interferes with our overall plan though, so I don't want to do that. So I guess I don't have a choice but to move and heal. So yeah, I'll be doing that. Just take the damage and prepare for a stronger next turn. I'll use this and this. And next turn we can do a flanking strike. And a move 2. So that should be enough. Alright, the archer moves and attacks. The guard moves and attacks. Let's go with the Spellweaver, move 2 with Mana Bolt. That allows us to attack with Fire Orbs. Attack 3 for each enemy targeted, get 2 XP. So that should be in here now. Let's attack the archer first. I always get unlucky on those, but well. Okay, just 2 damage. That kind of interferes with the overall plan. And I also forgot to use the potion. Well, I guess before I forget, I should use it. For the next turn, I want out of all these, or guess maybe I shouldn't use it. Well, yeah, let's not use it. I will be, if anything happens, I'll burn a card that I have in my hand and long rest. For the human scoundrel, we'll have to skip on the hill since we got unlucky. Move 2. Attack with the normal attack, which is over here. That's going to be an attack 2. Attack 3. Heals the guard. And the archer shoots at the Spellweaver again. And that's 3 damage. Bit too much for her. She has to burn another card. But that is planned. She will now do a long rest. And the Scoundrel will have to move at the top to deal some damage. We'll have to go quickly, otherwise Spellweaver might die. And we can shoot for 3 damage at the same time, so let's do that. So the Scoundrel can prepare for the trap move that the archer makes with attack 3. That's 2 damage. And then move 5. Well, 1, 2, 3. Or I guess it doesn't really matter where I go, unless I want to push her in any of these corners. Can also make sure she goes over there on one of these two. All right. The archer has to move back to keep away from the disadvantage. She attacks here because that's her focus. She attacks the closest enemy, and that's Scoundrel. And she does the next 2, so that is 4 damage. So I have an option to either burn Thieves' Snag or take 4. Well, I'll be taking the 4 damage. That also creates a trap. So I'm guessing the archer would create this kind of trap, put it over here, adjacent and to herself and closest to an enemy. Spellweaver then heals for 2. And we will be burning this card. That allows us to use Freezing Nova for the heal, burn that, and recover all of our lost cards. Not too bad. As for the Scoundrel, Sadly, we probably cannot waste a turn long resting, so we'll have to move quickly. Short rest. And we'll be using the smoke bomb. Kinda sad, but it's okay. Would rather be alive than dead. So 7 damage. We can poison her. And as an attack we can use probably single out. Or flanking strike. That's actually quite faster. Alright, move 3 poison. And then attack 3 with poison. No XP though. That is 3 damage. And here we'll be using heal 4 on the Scoundrel. And then reviving Ether. The Archer though moves here. Has an attack +1. Annoying. And that is 5 damage. Have to burn another card. And that is going to be single out. Don't really need it anymore. For the next turn we really want to finish her off. And to do that we'll be using our ranged attacks. So we can move quickly. Like this. And as for the Spellweaver, the only range 4 attack which has is Impaling Eruption. We'll be skipping that and we'll just use Flame Strike top to make sure she dies if she doesn't die. But she'll probably be dead, so it's okay. We'll go at 20. Since the Archer already used her 14 movement card and 14 initiative card. Flame Strike. So the Scoundrel, attack 3, top. And luckily, kill her. And then we can go and take these coins. And before we end the turn, we can return a card back. And well, we'll be long resting anyway, so I'll just diffuse the card and it doesn't really matter how fast we go. As for the Spellweaver, we move 2 and we'll be skipping an attack. Right, what we want now is a heal. And a bottom move action. Okay, that will suffice. Scoundrel can move over here, disarm this trap. That will get us 2 XP from Thieves' Knack. Or I could move over here and disarm this trap. Okay, let's do that instead. And Spellweaver can now heal. And we'll be healing the Scoundrel, I think. Move here to get the coin. So the cool thing we can do is long rest for the Scoundrel. Since the archers only have 4 range, as these are normal archers, they will not be able to reach the Scoundrel, I think. As the Scoundrel stands over here, if I block this entrance, they can go over here and yeah, they will not be able to reach the Scoundrel. So yeah, that's decided. We will be using our invisibility to create an obstacle. Do we have enough movement speed? 1, 2, 3. No, we do not. That means move 4 is in order. And a long rest at this for the Scoundrel, because she has not a lot of cards left. So the Spellweaver has to move 4. Right here. Become invisible. That will block the living bones from moving, because they cannot jump over the obstacles. And I'll use fire orbs to teach them a lesson. Okay, 3 XP. That will also create a fire at the end of the round, and we'll be targeting the archers first. Attack 2. Attack 1. That is sad. And guess one of these living bones. Just 1 damage because they have shield. Not as good as I hoped, but it's fine. We can still finish them next turn. We will be also reading from here. Peeking through the door, you find yourself face to face with the reason these bandits chose this particular hole to nest in. Animate bones, unholy abominations of necromantic power. Nothing more to do but lay them to rest, along with the remainder of this troublesome rabble. Alright. Living bones wanted to move, they would actually make it here. The archers, they would not move because they cannot reach the enemy. Or can they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they can. One, two, and then use tap to draw a line, but for some reason it doesn't draw normally. So let's do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that is too far even for them. So they wouldn't move. Then the Scoundrel long rests. Also, I think I forgot the Spellweaver long rest somewhere. Or not. Actually, no. Since she restored the cards, she didn't have to. Okay. We don't got a lot of cards left. So we will not be using backstab for damage. We will though move at 36 as slow as possible, and then move 3, I think. Or actually, so let's use Thieves' Knack for that. Movement 2, so that we can use Flanking Strike and Special Mixture next turn. As for the Spellweaver, quick rest should be good. So 8 from the Ether, yeah, I would like to lose this card. And we'll be using Freezing Nova again for melee damage. And we will go as slow as possible with Impaling Eruption. Should be fine. Right, archers, they will not move because they don't have a path towards the focus. Then the human Scoundrel can move as close as we can. Think I did a bit too much, yeah. Move 2 like that, and attack 3 at range 4. So I do not really reach archers. I'll be attacking the living bones. 3 damage, -1 shield, we deal 2 damage. The living bones cannot move through the Spellweaver, and the Spellweaver will now use Freezing Nova. Or the other option is to use Impaling Eruption. But this one could be used next turn, I think. Yeah, that should be strong. So let's use Freezing Nova for now. That is attack 2. Attack 3, very lucky. Get a kill, and the Scoundrel can now move in. And another, yeah, attack 2, +1, immobilize. Then we can move 4 if we want to, but do we actually want to? I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, attack like that, so we'll step over here, get that coin, and turn. And we'll be getting this one back thanks to our minor stamina potion. A quick turn into Impaling Eruption. We'll deal a lot of damage to them, and we'll do Flanking Strike to kill the skeleton. So the archers can do a very nasty attack, so we'd rather kill them, or can go into invisibility for the Scoundrel. So a move 3 into poison looks nice, and an attack 5 also get 1 XP. So that's an attack 6, kills the skeleton. And as for the Spellweaver, she will use Impaling. I mean, shouldn't I use? Yeah, I will also use the invisibility just to not take the damage. And as for the Spellweaver, attack with Impaling Eruption. I really want that XP. So I'll draw a path like this. 1, 2. I mean 1, 2, 3. Kills her. Well, I really hope we don't kill her. Okay, perfect. And I get 2 XP. I can also move 2. Get the coins. I'll get this one. Once are dead, the archer shoots at 1 damage at the Spellweaver. Enough range. That is 0 damage. So what we want to do now is just get all of this loot. This gets discarded. So I guess for the Scoundrel, long rest is not necessary. We'll short rest. We lost Thieves' Knack, which is fine. Not to say perfect. And then we can start the next round by choosing to end our turn here. Loot these two next turn. Should be good. Also heal. So we'll go quicker, I think. Unless we're at full. Yeah, since we're at full, this should be fine. Human Scoundrel moves over here. Or, I mean, yeah, this is fine. Get the coin. Heal herself, can't really. And then the Orchid Spellweaver can move in here, get the chest. So the chest contains treasure. That is a random scenario. I will not be opening this, but yeah. Basically, pull a card from here, which will open a scenario on the map. You can use it on the campaign tracker. You can find one online. They're quite useful. Okay, the archer now decides to attack the scoundrel because she is faster on the initiative. That's an attack 3. Not as scary as the elite attacks. So, short rest for both of them should be nice. Oh, I mean, that one gets burned. We get to loot 2 more cards. I mean, 2 more loot coins, and Spellweaver will short rest as, or actually long rest. I do want to get it to full HP for a check mark, so yeah, long rest. The archer again attacks the scoundrel. Another 3 damage. Scoundrel can use this bottom action of Swift Bow to loot every hex we enter. 1, 2. And skip. Actually, we can heal for 3. It's fine. And the Spellweaver gets to heal to full and turn. So if I short rest with Scoundrel, we do not have enough cards, and that's why we'll be using a long rest instead. That will allow us to be a punching bag since we're closer to the enemy. So long rest for Scoundrel, and we can choose a card to lose. That will be let's see. Yeah, Freezing Nova. I did really good actually for a card that isn't recommended usually. So we'll be playing a Mana Bolt and Frost Armor. Get this coin. Skip the attack. It's kinda risky, so I guess I'll just kill her. If I was greedy, I would just get the coin, skip the attack, short rest, kill the archer next turn, but you can always pull a null, and I don't want to risk that. So attack 2, entrench 3. That is enough to kill her. We get the coin. Scoundrel heals. And looks like we won. So we right click to win this scenario. And we can now remove the map, the monsters, and see if we've finished this. Fast healer, we did, which is very nice. We get the check mark. and Zealot have 3 or fewer total cards. We only had 2. I mean, basically had 0 if you exhaust. I think this doesn't work if you exhausted more than 3 or fewer total cards. But yeah, we only had 2. So the Scoundrel also gets a check mark. As you can see, we've earned 12 gold as Scoundrel, 14 XP, and 17 XP. That's a lot as Spellweaver. And 12 gold as well. So what now? Now you can read the conclusion. With the last bandit dead, you take a moment to catch your breath and steel yourself against the visions of living remains ripping at your flesh. Your target is not among the dead, and you shudder to think what horrors still await you in the catacombs below. So the new location is Burrow Lair. We get First Steps achievement. It's only ever used at the next scenario, which is linked, so you can go there without having to suffer through the road events. Yeah, as you remember, the fight has started quite badly for us, but we persevered, so that was fun. Let's get an X mark here and open the link scenario, clicking here. I'm also using a Gloomhaven campaign tracker, which was kindly put into this amazing scripted version of Gloomhaven Enhanced. I want to thank everyone who is working on this. It's an amazing improvement on the previous versions, and it's really enjoyable to play. So yeah, I think that's it. So for the next scenario, which is a boss fight, a really tough boss fight at that, you want to do as much damage as possible. So you will still want to keep the smoke bomb. That will allow you to get a huge attack on the enemy. At least an attack 10, just don't miss. And you can even try and use backstab instead, and that will be even stronger. So that will be 7 if you use Spellweaver correctly. X2, that's 14, and that is gonna be quite easy to complete. And I don't think any other changes would really work well. Throwing knives, probably not good enough for that scenario. So yeah, focus on the smoke bomb combo, deal a lot of damage, like usually, and don't receive unnecessary damage from the living corpses because they're slow. The other option is to go, well, I think, is to go back to Gloomhaven and complete the city event, but since this scenario is linked, for the next video we'll be playing it directly. And then we'll go back to city and complete the city event. They're usually quite profitable and improve the overall picture on the map and inside the town. As for the gold that you earn, for the next 10 gold, you can choose to buy iron helmets. The other option for the helmet is eagle eye goggles. This is what I recommend for the Spellweaver. Iron helmet on the Scoundrel is okay. It will save you from burning a card, and Scoundrel doesn't really have a lot of cards in their hand. It's only 9 cards. It's hard to use consistent effect cards, so yeah. For the Scoundrel, I'd also focus on Boots of Striding. That will allow you to get a lot more loot. And, well, you can't buy anything else for 10 gold potions. They do not fit, because at level 1 you can only bring one stamina potion. At level 3, I mean, not stamina potion, but a small card, small item. Because you cannot have multiple copies of minor stamina option, potion, for example. So yeah, don't use multiple items that are the same, just buy different ones, because that's how the rules work. Okay. Just to earn more gold, as for the Scoundrel, I think I'll buy the Iron Helmet now. That will allow you to tank slightly better. Then you can buy the boots, or you can like wait for the next scenario and then buy it. Well, I guess we'll wait for the boots, for the Scoundrel, for the next scenario, and then for the Spellweaver. The boots are fine, but the Eagle Eye goggles are really where it's at, so we'll probably be buying that if we can. So that's it for this one. Stay tuned for the next one, and good luck. Hopefully it works out for you. I think it's okay if you play with open initiative, so if you don't want to lower the difficulty too much, play on normal, you can just reduce the difficulty by house ruling that you know the initiatives and you can plan correctly, because this combo of Scoundrel and Spellweaver is really about planning. How you move, where you stand. Spellweaver in melee is okay for this kind of combo. You can use Freezing Nova to do melee attacks like I did this time. It's first time I'm using this. I didn't even know that this card can be good. So yeah, experiment. I think that's it about this combo. Once you level up, Spellweaver will be able to do a lot of stuns. She can dish out amazing damage by herself. And if you buy an element potion, you can activate her strength, and it's gonna be really cool. For the Scoundrel, once you level up, you will be able to deal more damage without Spellweaver standing close to you. And at the next scenario, you really want to get the chest and then get an item that is in that chest. Sorry for the spoilers, but yeah, this is about teaching. I think it's fine. And let's remove these two. And that's it. Okay, everyone, goodbye. Thank you for watching. I hope this was useful.